Hello student, I'm going to take you through a very short nugget to expose some of the problems that you are going to encounter when you are when you are importing a file, a CSV file into a database, and in this case you are going to be using Microsoft Access 2016. Now, even before we start importing, you are going to notice visually we've got some problem areas. Like in this case, column E and column C, if you notice there is a common problem there. We have got data without a column label. And if you notice, in this case, let's also focus on our day. Now, if you notice, according to my date and time settings, I'm supposed to start off with the month, followed by the day, followed by the year. But in this case, if you notice, what I have is a totally different scenario. I'm starting off with my day, month, and then finally by year, and this could also create problems when I'm importing. Now let's move on to the actual thing. Now I'm going to open my Access, the database that I create from the previous lesson or video. Then from there, make sure you're on external data, and then you go on text file. Right, from text file, this is what you're going to do. You're going to browse for that particular file. In this case, you go on book 1. I click on book 1, and then I open the file, right, and then I click OK. Now, do you notice something? An error is going to pop up, in this case indicating that the file that I want to use is being exclusively used by another user. Now, how do I solve that problem? I click OK, and then you go back to your file and make sure you close that file. Right, I'm going to save it before I close it. Right, and then from there, what you're then going to do is you're going to go through the same process. This time around, we are going to solve that problem. Book 1, open, and then click OK. Right, in this case, we are then going to move on. Some of these steps we have actually explained them in the previous video, so I'm going to be running through. Right, from here you select your first row so that it's taken as field names rather than the first field. Now, if you notice, it's also going to pop up another error. We are saying the first row contains some data that cannot be used for valid access field names, and in this case, if you notice, they are totally blank. In these cases, the wizard will automatically assign valid field names. Then we just click OK. Now in this case, what the computer is going to do is going to name these fields according to the column number. This is our column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4 up to column 5. Now if you notice, the last one is going to be named field 5. Same applies with this one. On third position is going to be labeled field 3, and then we click next to advance. We click next. I've explained all these stages in the previous lectures, and then in this case we do not want any primary key. I click next, and then I click finish. Now you're going to notice that when I import this particular file, the computer is going to display two separate files. You open the first one, it has some records. Open the second one, if you notice, it has some records. Now in this case, how do I solve this problem? Right, I want you to click the first object, then you delete it. Click the first one, right click, delete to confirm your delete. Now in this case, what we are going to do now to solve this problem, we are going to go through the same process again. Right, you go on text file. Right, you browse for your file. This time around, it's no longer opened, so at this stage we don't expect any errors to pop up. And then from there you click next. Right, in this case we haven't done anything in as far as our field names, so in this case let's just continue. Even if it pops up, we just continue for now. Right, and then I click next, and then no primary key, I click next. But now, before we continue, right, let's go on advance. What we want to do now is we want to work on our day. Now let's move on to the day field. Where is our day field? Date field. There we are. Right, what we are going to do now is we are going to change here. If you notice, by default it's MDY. Now we have to switch that from MDY to DMY. Why? Because we are starting off with the date, followed by the month, and finally by the year. And then after that you click OK. This should solve the problem. And then you click next, and then you click finish. Right, and then from there you click close. Now if you notice, the computer is going to import your date, and in this case it's only. So basically this is how you're going to solve some of the problems that you're going to encounter when you are importing a file, a CSV file, into your Access database. Thank you very much.